Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins find themselves at a crossroads, and the man holding the steering wheel, head coach Mike McDaniel, might be preparing to make one of the boldest moves of his young coaching career. After an ugly 31-6 loss to the Cleveland Browns, whispers have turned into rumblings, and those rumblings have become a full-blown conversation around the league. Could McDaniel actually bench Tua Tagovailoa? It sounds crazy at first, almost unthinkable given Tua's status as the face of the franchise. But after watching the Dolphins collapse in such spectacular fashion, nothing feels off the table anymore. This wasn't just another bad loss. This was a complete unraveling of a team that looks lost, uninspired, and, worst of all, predictable. You could feel the tension building throughout the game. From the opening drive, the Dolphins looked flat, like a team still stuck in the locker room while the Browns were playing for their season. Every throw from Tua felt hesitant, every read a split second too late. His stat line tells only part of the story. 12 completions on 23 attempts for just 100 yards, 3 interceptions, and 0 touchdowns. But the body language told the rest. Tua looked rattled, unsure, almost defeated. And that's not something you want to see from your supposed franchise quarterback. It wasn't just a bad day at the office. It was a continuation of a worrying trend. This was his second straight game with 3 interceptions, bringing his total to 10 picks in 7 games. For a quarterback once known for his accuracy and decision-making, that's a stunning regression. After the final whistle, McDaniel stepped to the podium, his trademark calm demeanor replaced by something far more serious. He didn't call out anyone by name, but the message was crystal clear. There's a lot of guys that will have an important work week, he told reporters. If you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to assess a different player. Those words might sound diplomatic, but in the world of NFL coach speak, that's as close as you get to a direct threat. McDaniel was drawing a line in the sand, and everyone in that locker room, especially Tua, knows it. The translation? Play better or sit down. Now, let's not pretend that this is an easy decision for McDaniel. Benching Tua would be seismic, not just for the Dolphins, but for the entire league. We're talking about a former first-round pick, a quarterback who was once the face of Miami's resurgence, the centerpiece of McDaniel's high-flying offense. The partnership between coach and quarterback has been one of the defining stories of the past 2 seasons. When it's worked, it's been magic, fast-paced, explosive, and creative. But right now, it's not working. The timing is off, the chemistry feels broken, and defenses have caught on. The same plays that used to leave opponents chasing shadows now end with defenders sitting on routes, waiting for Tua to make the same mistakes he's been making week after week. What makes this situation even more complicated is that McDaniel himself isn't immune to criticism. The Dolphins' struggles go beyond just poor quarterback play. The offensive line looks shaky, the running game has been inconsistent, and the defense, once seen as a strength, has been leaking big plays. You can't put all of that on Tua, but fair or not, the quarterback always takes the heat, and when your offense can't move the ball, the head coach and the QB are the first ones under the microscope. Sunday's loss wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the optics. The Browns, a team also entering the game at 1-5, looked sharper, hungrier, more disciplined. The Dolphins, on the other hand, looked like a team that's lost its confidence and, maybe, its identity. For McDaniel, this is a defining moment. Coaches love to talk about accountability, about holding everyone to the same standard, but very few actually follow through when it comes to their star players. Benching Tua would send shockwaves through the locker room, but it would also send a message. No one is safe, not even the quarterback. And maybe that's exactly what this team needs right now. A jolt, a wake-up call, something to shake them out of their funk. Because whatever they've been doing so far clearly isn't working. Tua's struggles aren't happening in a vacuum. Over the past few weeks, you can see his confidence slipping. The quick release that once made him so effective has turned into hesitation. The accuracy that used to be his calling card has given way to overthrows and forced passes into coverage. And when your quarterback starts pressing, everything else starts to crumble. The receivers get frustrated. The offensive line loses faith. The entire rhythm of the offense collapses. What we're watching isn't just a player having a slump. It's a team unraveling in real time. And that's what makes McDaniel's next move so critical. Let's not forget, McDaniel did pull Tua late in Sunday's game, giving some snaps to backup quarterback Quinn Ewers. At the time, the coach brushed it off as a game situation decision, given the blowout score. But you can't ignore the symbolism of that move. Ewers didn't light the world on fire, but the message was clear. There's another guy on the sideline ready to step in if things don't change. That alone can do wonders for accountability, or it can backfire if the locker room senses panic. McDaniel has to tread carefully. The line between discipline and desperation is a thin one, and once you cross it, it's hard to come back. From a broader perspective, this moment could define both men's futures in Miami. For Tua, this might be his last real chance to prove that he's the long-term answer at quarterback. The franchise has given him weapons, an innovative play caller, and the support of an organization that has publicly stood by him through injuries and inconsistency. But patience is wearing thin. The NFL doesn't wait for anyone. If he can't turn it around soon, the Dolphins might have no choice but to look elsewhere, either through the draft or free agency. For McDaniel, the question is different but equally pressing. Can he adapt? Can he evolve from being the offensive genius with flashy play designs into a true leader capable of steering a team through adversity? Right now, that's what Miami needs most: leadership. It's easy to forget how quickly narratives shift in the NFL. Just a year ago, the Dolphins were one of the most exciting teams in the league. The McDaniel-Tua partnership was being celebrated as the future of offensive football. Fast forward to now, and that same pairing is being dissected as a cautionary tale. The Dolphins aren't just losing, they're getting embarrassed. And when that happens, changes are inevitable. Whether that change comes at quarterback or higher up the ladder remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the clock is ticking. For the fans, it's frustrating beyond belief. They've been sold on the idea that this was finally the year Miami would break through, that the combination of McDaniel's creativity and Tua's precision would put them among the AFC's elite. Instead, they're staring at a 1-6 record, a broken offense, and a team that looks mentally checked out. The frustration is boiling over on social media, where fans are calling for heads to roll. Some want McDaniel gone. Others want Tua benched, and some just want to see some fight from the players wearing teal and orange. The energy in Miami has turned from optimism to disbelief, and that's always dangerous for a franchise trying to build something sustainable. As the Dolphins prepare for their next game, the mood in the locker room will tell us everything we need to know. Does Tua come out fighting, ready to prove the doubters wrong? Or does McDaniel stick to his word and make a drastic change under center? Either way, the next week of practice might be the most important of the season. The future of this team, and maybe even the future of its coach and quarterback, hangs in the balance. Because in the NFL, moments like this define legacies. You can talk about culture and system and potential all you want, but at some point, you have to win. You have to show that you can handle adversity. Right now, Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa are standing at that crossroads together. One wrong move, and this partnership that once looked so promising could be over. But if they can find a way to fix it, if they can rediscover the rhythm and chemistry that made them so dangerous, maybe, just maybe, this loss to Cleveland could be the turning point that saves their season. But make no mistake, if the Dolphins look anything like they did on Sunday, McDaniel's promise to make changes won't just be talk. It'll be the start of a new era in Miami, with or without Tua leading the way. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Breaking news is shaking the NFL universe as whispers have now been confirmed. JAYLEN WADDLE, the dynamic wide receiver who has lit up Hard Rock Stadium for years, is officially on the move. After seasons of dazzling Miami fans with his electrifying speed, jaw-dropping catches, and sheer determination, the era of Waddle and Dolphins aqua and orange seems to have come to a dramatic close. Insiders had been hinting at tension behind the scenes, with Waddle exploring options and the Dolphins front office facing difficult decisions. Rumors swirled for months about contract negotiations, potential trades, and whether Miami could even match the offers coming from other teams hungry for his talents. Now, it's no longer speculation. Waddle has inked a deal with a new team, leaving Dolphins fans in shock, heartbreak, and, for some, disbelief. Miami has long been known as a city that celebrates its stars, and Waddle has been nothing short of a star. From the moment he was drafted, the excitement was palpable. His rookie season alone sent tremors through the league, showcasing a player whose blend of agility, speed, and football IQ made defenses scramble. Every time he touched the ball, fans could feel the electricity in the stadium. But as thrilling as those years were, the NFL is an unforgiving business, and it seems the perfect storm of contracts, ambitions, and team strategy finally collided. Behind closed doors, discussions about salary caps, roster priorities, and long-term vision reportedly created tension, and while Waddle remained professional on the field, sources suggest he was increasingly aware of opportunities elsewhere. The ripple effect of this move cannot be understated. Dolphins fans, who have grown accustomed to seeing Waddle streak down the sidelines, are now grappling with the reality that one of the most exciting players in franchise history won't be donning the aqua and orange anymore. Social media erupted almost instantly after the news broke, with hashtags trending within minutes. Clips of Waddle's most iconic plays, interviews, and sideline celebrations resurfaced, accompanied by emotional fan reactions ranging from disbelief to gratitude. Some fans expressed frustration at the organization, questioning whether more could have been done to keep a player who had become the face of Miami's offense. Others took a more somber approach, acknowledging that Waddle's career, like all athletes, is fluid and that chasing new opportunities is part of the professional game. Meanwhile, in the league at large, analysts are already dissecting the implications of this move. How will Waddle fit into his new team's offensive scheme? Who will benefit most from his presence on the field? Will the Dolphins' offense experience a significant drop-off, or do they have hidden gems ready to step up in his absence? Rumors suggest that the acquiring team sees Waddle not just as a playmaker, but as a potential franchise cornerstone, someone around whom they can build future offensive strategies. Reports from anonymous sources hint at an aggressive approach from the new team's management, perhaps promising Waddle a starring role and a lucrative contract that Miami was either unwilling or unable to match. While exact details of the deal remain under wraps, the speculation alone has dominated NFL chatter for days, with pundits debating how this move might reshape playoff landscapes, draft strategies, and even the balance of power in the conference. For Miami, this isn't just a personnel change, it's a shift in identity. Waddle's speed and flair defined a generation of Dolphins offense, a player whose chemistry with quarterbacks and timing on routes seemed almost telepathic. Replacing him is no small task. Rumors are already circulating about potential targets in upcoming drafts or free agency moves, with the Dolphins scouting talent that could replicate at least a portion of Waddle's impact. Yet, insiders caution that no single player can fully fill his shoes. In the locker room, sources suggest morale has been affected, though the team's leadership is reportedly committed to turning this moment into motivation. Coaches are said to be working overtime to restructure offensive strategies, ensuring that the team remains competitive despite losing one of its most explosive weapons. The timing of Waddle's departure also adds a layer of intrigue. As the league moves closer to crucial offseason decisions, contract renewals, and draft preparations, other teams may see Miami's decision as a signal. Could this spark a domino effect where more high-profile players consider moves, sensing a shift in the Dolphins' long-term plans? Rumors on sports talk shows hint at behind-the-scenes discussions with other star receivers, as agents and general managers analyze how Waddle's move might alter market dynamics. Meanwhile, the Dolphins' front office, while publicly calm and professional, is undoubtedly strategizing on multiple fronts, balancing the immediate need for replacements with a vision for sustained success in upcoming seasons. Fans are already nostalgic, revisiting highlights of Waddle's most memorable moments, from game-winning touchdowns to electrifying kickoff returns. Some speculate about the what-ifs of Miami's future with him, imagining seasons where his presence could have meant playoff victories or even a Super Bowl run. Others, however, see this as a fresh start, a chance for the team to evolve and for younger receivers to emerge from the shadows. The debate is lively and passionate, spilling over into online forums, comment sections, and casual conversations among fans at sports bars and stadium tailgates. Waddle's legacy in Miami, regardless of where he goes next, is already cemented, But the emotional resonance of his departure is something that fans and analysts alike are still grappling with. Meanwhile, whispers from the league indicate that Waddle's new team is preparing a full-scale launch for him. A media blitz, interviews, and promotional content to introduce the star receiver to their fan base. Rumors suggest that team executives are positioning Waddle as a central figure in marketing campaigns, highlighting not just his skills on the field, but his charisma off it. This could mark the start of a mutually beneficial relationship where both player and team gain from heightened visibility, ticket sales, and brand presence. Speculation also points to the possibility of Waddle becoming a mentor figure, someone who can uplift younger players and infuse a winning mentality throughout the locker room. Analysts are already predicting that his impact could be immediate, potentially altering defensive schemes across the league as opponents scramble to counter his unique combination of speed, route running, and game intelligence. The story of JAYLEN Waddle's departure from Miami is more than a trade. It's a narrative that encapsulates the highs and lows of professional sports. It's a tale of ambition, loyalty, and strategic maneuvering, a story that fans, pundits, and insiders will dissect for months to come. While Miami closes one chapter, another is opening elsewhere, and the intrigue surrounding Waddle's next moves is only beginning. Will he continue to electrify stadiums as he did in Miami? Will his new team finally capture the championships that fans have long hoped for? And perhaps most importantly, how will the Dolphins reshape their identity in the post-Waddle era? The NFL landscape has shifted overnight, and for those who follow the league closely, this move is a dramatic reminder that in football, as in life, change is the only constant. For now, the buzz continues, fueled by speculation, insider hints, and the emotional weight of a star player leaving a city that loved him. Social media debates, podcast analysis, and sports commentary shows will dominate discussions for weeks. Waddle's journey is far from over, and both Miami and his new home will be under the microscope as fans eagerly await his first snap in a new uniform. One thing is certain, the end of Waddle's era in Miami is not just the end of a chapter, it's a seismic shift in the NFL story, one that will reverberate through stadiums, locker rooms, and living rooms of fans across the country. The rumor mills will continue to churn, the narratives will evolve, and one of the most exciting players of the modern era will now have a fresh canvas on which to paint his legacy. The excitement, tension, and anticipation are palpable, and the football world is watching closely, waiting for the next move in a saga that has already captivated so many. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.